works. Okay, so now we find out if that did work or not. But I'm sure we'll find out in just a second. And Immortal, I can confirm you or at least are alive. So hey, there's that. Yep, I could even hear me on it.
But it probably should be fine.
That's good.
Work or not.
Immortal,
Okay.
your face cam's even working, as dark as it is.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna get a light.
Okay.
Just not.
You're live face camming this one, Immortal?
I mean, yeah,
Do you usually do that?
yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just randomly doing it for the first time.
Okay, I'm dropping.
I was like, oh, what inspired it today? That's what I was gonna say.
Okay, let me pause this stream because I'm losing frames like crazy.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, I've
Do you usually do
confirmed
that?
we're live. And I think it's all working. Darshikage, I feel really bad because of the community poll asking who our top #1 fan is. And shout out Space, he's winning at #1 right now, and Space knows it because he called himself out.
I wanted to include Darashikage on that. Did he? Did he? Or
Yeah. Trust me, he knows because he sent the cry emoji and the broken heart emoji.
well, see, that's why I was annoyed that it took away the 5th option because that would have solved the issue.
I literally
Like,
said
I
exactly
wanted
that.
I wanted to put him on there.
Yeah. Well, at least he knows. Okay. Well,
Clickbait, rage bait.
with that being said, there was other. Oh yeah, okay. I did have a thing I wanted to start stream with. So Kamui, let's go over our recent message history, if we will. So, just reading the last 2 messages from your perspective here, you say, okay, perfect. Give me the stage message, then I'll join setup. So Kamui, where did you... Okay, you know what? I'm going to write this in pinned messages. Kamui, when did you forsake yourself?
What do you mean?
Okay, but you do completely... You're fully on board with putting that in pinned messages, right? Or the intro topics, right?
Well, sure, but I just... In terms of this context, can you just elaborate on how
I'll be honest.
myself?
I just got way more giddy at the notion of this just being an intro topic for all guests from now on with no context, more so than this situation right here.
Okay.
But back to the more boring option of this topic. So Kamui, you do realize setting up stage is part of setting up, right? And
well,
so
yeah, for you to set up.
For me
I
to
don't
set
need
up.
to set up stage if you set up stage.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm glad. Okay, glad we're on the same page here because the way your message, the way I read it, regardless of what you typed, what went into my brain was, "Dear Oodie, my friend who is busy setting up, let me know when you start your stage so that I will join the stage of which you will be the one to start."
So what I was saying is, let me know when you start stage because, no, obviously some of this context only would make sense for what I was doing, but I was turning my laptop upstairs. My microphone stuff's downstairs. So, when you start stage, I was going to join immediately with my headphones, walk downstairs, switch to the other mic, and get on the treadmill. That's the quote-unquote setup part that is slashed with the join.
I was curious about that. But it was pretty much clearly indicated that your setup takes less time than mine. So just like economically wise, it would only make sense if you were going to start. Like I feel like it got lost in translation at some point that you just don't have stage starting abilities, or that I own the stage or something. I don't know when this got cemented in your mind, but
Because when I start stage, I'm just silently in stage for several minutes before you join. Whereas if it's the other way around, I usually join immediately, as well as, people like Immortal or Space or whoever might be in the audience. So it would have just been me walking on the treadmill silently for 5 minutes, not looking at the screen until you join. Which, in terms of the Discord viewers' perspective, they're going to join and leave when they realize it's nonsense. Whereas it's the other way around. It's clearly like a podcasting thing, so they might stay. So it just makes more sense to have you start the stage.
Oh, I'll give it to you. Okay. And speaking of the Discord viewers' perspective, so for those that didn't know, we have a Discord where we do this all. And in case you weren't in it, here you go. Link is in the chat and it's pinned, so now you can join. Of which, so you can view the Discord viewing experience before and after we start stream, of which there's a lot of activity in there that is off of stream strictly. So there you go.
Yeah.
And even Space
So
comes
do
on. And Immortal viewers, join his Discord if he has. Anyways, Immortal, how the heck you doing?
Immortal, what is so funny?
Well, I have a Discord, but I don't think it's ready just yet.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What makes you say
I'm
that?
working on it. I want to do something creative for my Discord. Like probably like add like tiers or something.
Oh yeah. Well, we think you can do it. Speaking of Immortal, I have a completely non-segueable segue to our disclaimer. Okay, so Immortal, knowing you, I'm sure you've already read all the text spoilers. You know exactly what's going to happen in this chapter. So here's the disclaimer. Oodie and I haven't, and we refuse to get confirmation on anything. However, we are going to talk about the thing we might know might happen in this chapter that we hope is not true, and we're going to discuss it. We want you to only speak under the hypothetical of if it's true from our perspective. Do not at any point confirm anything that happens in this chapter.
Yeah, and even
you don't know.
I can't really confirm anything until the actual chapter releases, so you guys are good.
Okay.
Anything I say,
don't reference a text spoiler. Assume you're like us and you don't know if it's a text spoiler.
In fact, I would say if you were to do something like that, only do it coincidentally under the hypothetical that it's something you would have thought of on your own before having seen the text spoilers, assuming you're going to say it as like a theory or something.
Yes.
I could. Gotcha.
Okay. This goes to you guys in the comments as well. Do not comment what you saw in the spoilers. Only comment on the hypothetical what if you saw it.
Yeah. So we're just gonna be playing guessing games all day.
So speaking of spoilers, So
should we just get into it?
Well, I do want to do a little bit of the prelude that we were saying yesterday. I don't know about just like going back to read the messages that we said verbatim to each other yesterday. Though they were kind of funny. Should I just do that?
Okay. Yes. Let's do it. Okay, I'll put it up on my phone so we can. I don't know how far up we have to go.
And Ace will be here in a minute. Okay, so I'll just Control F spoiler. And yeah, that's probably good.
Wait. Did anyone ever leak the text spoilers in the Boruto spoiler chat?
Well, I forgot. Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot.
Wait, what spoilers?
Okay. Well, anyways, so I have the messages here, Kamui. So
okay, it starts with start with. I mean, if you were gonna do that, start there.
Yeah. So I say, I mean, if you were gonna do that, I'd definitely do it when there is a lot of hype in the community going into a chapter. And this is reference to whether Kamui wants to live react on his channel or on our channel, the Walky Talky channel, I should specify, or just on his own. In that case, it's not a live reaction; it's just off stream. not reaction, but read. What would you call that? Just watching it, reading it.
Yeah, it was basically a matter of me trying to decide what I want to do as far as chapter reviews go, at least for a while now. I've kind of already decided, because if these hypothetical spoilers are true, it does cement my decision.
Yeah, so Kamui, for the record, when I wrote this first message here, I'll say that I knew both sides of it going into it. So your very next message of, well, I already knew that you knew both sides of it as well.
So the next message is, well.
And from what I've seen, people are not jiving with this current arc anymore.
Debatably this month, based on vague spoiler, I hope is wrong. Oh, interesting.
I think this is actually a good idea for us not to see any raw scans of the spoilers before the chapter releases.
I agree.
Which I thought they were going to do on the 14th. They usually always do it like days before the release, but we haven't got any leaks or any spoilers of the chapter. But I'm actually glad that that didn't happen, because I kind of want to be able to, you know, enjoy the release of the chapter on the day it's coming out without having to see anything that happens beforehand.
Well,
Not
the
saying
sneak
that
peek already kind of ruins that.
The sneak peek really, in a way, the sneak peek kind of just gives you an idea of what the chapter is going to be about. Well, what's going to happen in the chapter.
Well,
for me, it doesn't really ruin it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It is just a random page.
Yeah, it is
like
a random
last
page.
Month, last month it was the cover page. That didn't tell you anything about the chapter.
Like, for example, the chapter, like, I think it was 8, a spoiler panel, was Hidari in the library asking where Naruto is. Like, that was not what the chapter was about.
No.
Or
it's just
the other
like I
one
said,
where Jura was in the library.
Yeah. Like I said, I think it's just a random page. I think it's just to kind of subvert expectations, sort of.
Which I'm not
Depending
gonna
on the
lie.
chapter, sometimes it raises expectations in the worst way possible.
but I'm not gonna lie, if they are just pulling random pages, I wish it was at least a little bit more specific. So for example, the one with Jura in the library, that was practically the only page of Jura that month. So they just showed like the entire Jura story of the month. That's not a sneak peek. That's just the entire C story, essentially. Like, I wish they just showed like the A story that's going to get the majority of the screen time, just a page from that, instead of the stuff that's barely there anyways. But anyway, by the way, keep out an eye for Ace in case he's waiting patiently in the audience. I don't know if he's been there for 10 minutes or 0 minutes, or if he's not there yet, but just something to be aware of. Anyways, so I said I heard murmurs about what I'm assuming it is. So that is the other end of it, assuming it is legit. Okay, Ace is typing, so I'm assuming he is here.
Is it because of something you saw for this chapter, or do you mean in general? So wait.
Wow. I wonder what Ace thinks about that.
Greetings, good evening, everybody.
Hey, Ace, when did you forsake yourself?
Look, I was only here for a couple of minutes waiting, no big deal.
Well, it could have been worse.
True, and also, personally, I'm a big fan of them showing kind of like the B or C story versus the main panels. I don't want to just get a taste of the main course. I'd rather have an appetizer and then get to enjoy the full course when I finally get it. If you just give me a part of it, then I'm going to be annoyed that I don't have the full thing. And if you show me the side story, then I might actually pay attention to it instead of just skipping through it to find out what's happening with the real big story.
So, whereas I understand that, using this analogy, it's like if they're giving you the entire appetizer as opposed to just a small bit of the main meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way I generally prefer my meals. I'll take an appetizer that I can chew on a bit, decide if it's anything important I care about, if it might mean something even bigger down the road. And then by the time I'm done with that, I get the main course to fully enjoy.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I will say, maybe the food analogy isn't the best since I think that's just how restaurants do it anyways, but ignoring that. The problem that I run into is that once we get to it in the chapter itself, it's almost recap at that point because that's standing on its own as it is, as opposed to if it was like the main story, then you get stuff both before it and after it. So when you're rereading this page you've already read, it's not coming across as like a rewatch or recap. It's connecting those ideas almost from a fresh new perspective for the first time.
I can see that.
It does depend on like the specific situation, because in this Jura case, it was the only Jura panel, whereas it's not
engaging at that point.
So it's kind of an extreme example.
Yeah. Almost just ruins the chapter once we get to it at that point.
For the 2 sneak peeks we got, there's not really much to go off of based off those sneak peeks.
I haven't seen the second one.
Oh, I didn't know there was.
I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to really spoil anything. You'll know once we read the text spoilers, but that's just about it, I think.
Yeah, so I heard murmurs. Sorry, go ahead. Someone? Hello? I thought someone was saying something.
I was going to say, you want to get started in the spoilers?
Well, technically, we haven't finished reading the chat messages.
So I heard murmurs about what I'm assuming it is, so that's the other end of it, assuming it is legit.
I said, is it because of something you saw for this particular chapter, or do you just mean in general?
So wait. And so every single message that comes in, I'm already typing and already knowing what every individual message means, especially after the previous message. I know exactly what this is. So we are both clearly dancing around the fact of what it is because we both know what it is, but you don't want to spoil me. And just in case it's not what you're referencing, I don't want to say it. Clearly what's going on.
We're still dancing around it because we're going to stall for like 20 minutes before saying it.
No, we'll get to it. I mean, people don't like this current arc and want it to end ASAP, so we can get to something new. Okay. For me, I think I prefer the current story over the previous arc, which a lot of people would say is blasphemy. I think the reason is because... Okay, so Kamui,
I can continue on this pretty good.
Okay, good. So for me, the previous arc had technically, if you want to say higher highs, sure, but it definitely had infinitely lower lows. This arc in comparison, whereas it has its flips and its flops here and there, its woozies and its doozies, it's like a more consistent 6 out of 10 instead of a 2 out of 10 compared to a 7 out of 10 range. In my opinion.
I can agree with that.
Do you have more to say, or are you done your bit?
I was going to let you do your bit, and then I was going to say more. But
okay. So there's kind of 2 main things I want to say for that. So the first is the kind of funny, but objectively true. No, I don't want this arc to end ASAP. Do you know why? Because they pulled that shit in the Prophecy arc and in the Hidari Invasion arc. Yeah. What are my 2 biggest complaints, realistically? The end of the Prophecy arc and the end of the Jura Hidari Invasion arc. No, I don't want that over again. That's the first part. I know what happens with the rushed ending, and it's bad. Yeah. I don't want that. Second, bring this to the previous arc. It has... I don't want to say the other arc didn't have story, because it did, but this arc has infinitely, not just more story, but more seamless story. So... obviously, the main story stuff that the last arc did do that I thought was pretty decent is basically Jura's observations of Team 10. The whole, like, oh, let's surpassing their instincts, blah, 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 and it's pretty important, blah, blah, blah. And then he learns in this arc, it's probably love. What is this arc about? Love. What are we seeing? How various characters are influenced by love. Mostly irrationally in this arc so far, but it can go in
I'm okay with that.
The point is, though, it's connecting the previous arc's ideas and expanding upon it, and it's much more seamless. Jura's conversation about love juxtaposed with Matsuri and Konohamaru's bullshit. It was actually a pretty good idea. Like this, it was good. I want them to continue doing the only thing they have been doing. There's that perspective. I also want, this is kind of going back to the previous point, but I don't want a random conclusion to where Konohamaru somehow bullshit gets its way out of being devoured. We've gone this far. I want Konohamaru's flaw to bite him in the ass against devoured, and I want to see what happens when Matsuri devours him. That's continuing these story points about the love and the whole devouring a target nonsense. Like, we need to continue that. Let's not pull another previous arc thing where Jura just doesn't devour Hippowari because he doesn't want to. Let's actually do it. Continue that. Lastly, as much of plot action as Ryu has had in this arc, they haven't actually done anything with him as a character. I want something. I don't want him to just be there. I want to do something with him. So I need the arc to continue in order to do that. So if they just randomly end it, that means you're not going to get anything with Ryu. I'd rather not do that. I want to, if he's going to be here in the action, let's do something with him. All these things require the arc to continue for a while longer. So that's what I want.
Yeah. Immortal, do you have any thoughts on that?
For this arc, I really do. I agree with Ace on the fact that this arc is humanizing the Shinjus, and also Jorah's complete goal of trying to get rid of, love since it hinders their evolution.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I also do see how love can make people do irrational things. One thing for certain was when Yodo was trying to immediately go for the Thorn Soul, and Ryu already caught wind to this because that's exactly what they want to bring Shinki back. And lots of other things in this arc, especially yeah. I was about to say something about tech spoilers, but I was trying not to.
Circling back to the original question, the question is, would you prefer that this arc ends ASAP, so like 1 to 2 chapters from now, or would you prefer it goes on a while long?
I want, me personally, I see this. I don't see this arc going on for too long. I want it to keep going, so that way we can, see where this arc will lead towards. Because, from what I've seen from the spoilers, there's a lot to look forward to. But
which chapter did Ryu do the Yodo trick on? Was it chapter 17?
I think it was chapter 8. I think it was chapter 17, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see.
Because realistically, based on what we've seen, the midpoint of this arc is going to be when Ryu turns on them and Matsuri turns on Konohamaru. Okay, it looks like chapter
not
18.
necessarily. That could just be the first
18.
confrontation, which I think could actually be more
I'll say
likely.
that can kind of just be it depends. If they were making this a major arc, then I would see that as just the first one. But I think it's going to be one of those where it's tension, then it's combat as conflict happens, and then it's going to have a resolution that rolls into a much bigger arc afterwards.
Yeah.
So I think that 19 is kind of the midpoint. Honestly, I don't see it going more than another 2 chapters of battle at best. Of just from the way that they introduce certain things, like Amaya has a blade that literally counters what Ryu does.
Yeah.
Which is cool they put that in there, but to me that gives a heavy advantage to your team. That's okay, so the hero should win this battle because you directly counter. It's like having Pikachu against a Squirtle. I should win this battle 9 out of 9 times every single time. If I lose, it's because we messed up.
Away with it. So getting back to like midpoint first encounter stuff, it's theoretically possible that yes, this was just the first encounter. Konohamaru getting devoured in like chapter 20 or 21 could also work as a midpoint. However, so I just gonna say this. It's a theoretical spoiler that we're still dancing around for the moment. But if that spoiler is true, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not saying it's impossible because it's a terrible idea to do in this arc in the first place. But if they're gonna do it in this arc, that does feel like a, post midpoint third act type thing that you might do. Generally, not just randomly in the first encounter
we'll get to it.
What reason.
We'll get to it. What I will say,
very odd. And I will say, if the midpoint is chapter 18, that will be 5 chapters for a 10 chapter long arc. That's pretty consistent with Ikimoto, so that does feel normal for him.
So correct me if I'm wrong. First of all, I don't think he's ever done a fight that's lasted more than 3 chapters. The Boro fight was 3 chapters.
Vortex, or in general?
In general. Like the Boro fight was 3 chapters. So Naruto and Sasuke versus Ishiki might have been 4, but I think that 4th might have been Momoshiki.
But that's including like Daryon mode and stuff.
Mm-hmm. In that case, that doesn't necessarily change it for me.
Yeah, the Boro fight I think is the longest just straight up fight. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
the Delta fight's also like 3 chapters as well.
I obviously don't see this fight lasting another 2 chapters. I think it's probably going to end by the end of this chapter.
Yeah, because especially in Chibu Vortex. Chibu Vortex has had a history of a third of a chapter long fights.
Yeah.
Like this is already insane by their standards.
So if it's going to be
2 chapters.
If it's going to be 2 chapters, it's because they continuously keep cutting back to the Shinju or Boruto or Kawaki and Amado and Sumire and Akabi or Matsuri and Konohamaru. Like we have 5 different things we're looking at all at the same time. So that could be the reason that they slow down.
They know what anime do best is they fluff it out with, oh, we're going to cut to Amado for 3 pages. So we can then come back to the fight in 4 pages.
Yeah, because like technically speaking, this fight starts in chapter 18. I'm going to figure out exactly when here. Pretty late in the chapter, it looks like. Yeah. So actually, it's like the end of chapter. So this fight's realistically been 1 chapter long. It's already been interrupted 50,000. Oh yeah, this fight starts at the very end of chapter 18. So it's been 1 chapter with interruptions.
Keep in mind, these are scenes that are going on at the same time that are separate from this. I'm not even counting flashbacks, like Yodo's flashback with Shinki. Or, I mean, I guess it was Araya's flashback. You get the idea. Araya's flashback with Shinki. Or Konohamaru's flashback talking to Shikamaru about the mission. I'm just not counting these. I'm sure we'll get a Sarada flashback at some point. Maybe a Mitsuki.
But you gotta have a Maya's flashback, otherwise, all of a sudden,
no, I'm not saying that's bad.
Lodestone Saiyan Ceiling Blade doesn't do it. That's general Boruto Naruto flashback in battle. It's like, cool, this new thing that I never told you about I can do. I'm gonna do it right now when I need to be able to do it. Cool. Yeah. Where did that come from? Oh, I've been had this forever for this. Oh, that's extremely convenient that he gave you a way to counter everything that he could possibly do. Makes logical sense. Now I need to see that actually pay off in the actual story. Cool. I need you to do that because if he fails, like if the Squirtle beats Pikachu, I'm going to be mad because that shouldn't happen. You're gonna need to give me another reason. Like I'm gonna need the other Shinju to pull up. I'm gonna need something to happen to counter this heavy counter that you already have somehow.
Well, too late for that because Ryu counted it himself.
True, he counters it. But what I mean is I need more to that because I imagine there's always the move, then there's the counter move, then I see that they're gonna do the counter move. So I'm waiting I'm gonna need that to continue to snowball over that they're winning, and then something has to pull Ryu out of it at the end all the way.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the second lodestone sense.
that
part.
I was gonna
duel.
I was gonna say Ryu kind of just like overwhelmed them by just like bringing Claw Grimes out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those spotter Claw Grime. That team leader she could choke and handle it down.
Yeah, but I don't think the point was to try to. Well, I think it was more so strength in numbers for Ryu, but it's not like he needs them anyways because we all know that
they
can just infinitely pour out.
My problem with the strength in numbers is not only have they never established how many Claw Grimes there are or are left, but like strength in numbers, my ass, bro. We've been there, done that with the White Zetsu, and you know what happened to them? They just like. Hitsuchi. You guys don't even know who that is. None of you remember who Hitsuchi is. He just one-shot like 50,000 in one jutsu. Strength in numbers, my ass, bro.
Yeah, listen, I think what he was using for the claw grinds for was kind of like to, I would say, distract. Would you say distract them in order to like get the blade away from them?
Look, I'm not going to spoil, but if Mitsuki things are true, this is all because Mitsuki just didn't feel like trying.
Yeah. Well, the way I would say it is this: when he pulled out the Claw Grimes, it was less from a D&D standpoint, it was a 5v1, which means for every one thing he could do, they could all do a thing. So he's just going to eventually get overwhelmed. Yeah. It was a way to kind of balance the battlefield that they have other things to worry about, so they can't just all focus on him. And it gives him a better chance to kind of even the battlefield. Not that he expects the Claw Grimes to win, because they're basically putties and from Power Rangers at this point. He just needs them to not all use all of their special moves on him at the same time in concert, so that way he can actually do anything and stand a fighting chance. Because otherwise, Phil is just the regular 5v1 and he doesn't have the Claw Grimes. This doesn't go past the end of the chapter. They are power-wise, they could have the powers to overwhelm him as they already did before. So they needed something to balance it out where they don't just pull out all their special ninjutsu at once and blow him away halfway across the desert.
Real quick, Ace and Immortal, did you guys know I made my own Attack on Titan episode?
I did not know this.
Oh, I will link it to you, Ace and Immortal. Did you know? Immortal?
He's muted.
I'll link it to Immortal as well. All right. So I made my own Attack on Titan episode. You guys should totally watch it. It took me months to make. It was the night of the end episode where they're all talking.
Watch too. We're still not even done watching.
Like a third of the way through. Well, that's because we stopped to talk about it.
Like, we started this 3 months ago, and Ace is probably gonna finish before we do. And it's all Cam's fault.
Ace is gonna watch it in 75 minutes because it's 75 minutes long. That's how quick he's gonna watch it.
That is true. I literally have laundry to do tonight, so when I'm done here, I'm going to click it on and start to watch it, and I will probably be done sometime in the next couple hours.
I love it. Now, that being said, I'd be totally down if you wanted to react to it. Not that you have to, since that'd probably be less convenient, but I would like to see a reaction at the very least. if not, then at least tell me what you thought afterwards, but there you go.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, even if I didn't do it as a reaction, I would definitely still let you know my thoughts on it. So that way you get feedback about the pros and cons of what I liked and how it worked for me. Because, again, I can't say if it's good or bad. I could say whether or not it's something that I like or it speaks to what I like. Because I've come to find out,
But anyway, real quick, completely random. But I love how Oodie, just move your mouse but don't scroll. It says the Ace is playing Google Chrome.
Oh, yeah, that's
like it's thing. A game.
Well, see, that's just because in Discord, you can't really share streaming things unless, you have Google set up as it gets read like a video game. So Discord doesn't think it's a web browser that I have open. It thinks it's a video game that I'm sharing when I'm showing stuff.
That's fine.
So, sometimes you need to circumvent some of the restrictions in a better way.
I love it. Okay, moving on from that though. So I'll let Kamui decide. Would you rather me talk on Konohamaru first or the Death Note tennis match scene first? I think I know your answer.
I think you should probably do the Death Note tennis match scene first, if I had to guess.
Of course, yeah, that's what I was expecting. Okay, so
trying to get your guard down. Stupid ran for the bulb that he put out as a plant, which that was the biggest bait I could have thought of. Why would you not attack him instead of the bulb? There's 5 of us. Only one of us.
I know. Like, what if he just like, again? Like, no, because think about it this way. This is why it's really dumb of Yodo. So, if assuming this is a real thorn bulb or not, it doesn't matter if it's fake. The fact is, Ryu showed the ability to telepathically control it, moving it outward.
Yeah.
What dumbass wouldn't think he could pull it back so you just don't reach it? He just moves it out of the way. You can't fly, Yodo. What happens if he moves it 20 feet to the left?
Remember, he said aloud, we'll use this as bait.
I know.
Yeah. I'm comfortable putting this out here.
Ace, I'll go even further. He was breaking the fourth wall.
I'm cool with it.
So Ryu looked at the camera when he said that. He's breaking the fourth wall. He's saying that to the audience.
I would say if he was saying it to the audience, yes, but I took that as he was saying it to all them around them while he was looking.
No, he is doing that. I'm saying it like as like a double layer
as a fourth wall break.
Thing.
Oh yeah. I fully knew that was a bait. I was like, oh, they're stupid.
Yeah. It's just like a cool Easter egg, assuming it was intended at all. It's just there at least. But
Yeah, like Ryu in this whole panel, I have no problems with anything that Ryu did. He portrayed not only well, but he elevated himself to show that he has more layers and he can plot and strategize and even could pick up the subtle undertones of the people around him with his perceptions like, okay, you really don't seem to like me and got a lot of bloodlust. And then her stupid answer, all ninjas are this way. Cool. The other 4 ninjas aren't showing the fact that they want to murder me immediately right now. No other ninja I've come across has been like, I want to kill you right away. You're the only one that's like murder, murder, death, death, kill, kill.
Yeah.
Which, again, we had this plan. You know the plan. I can accept it from her because she's a bit younger. So her controlling her emotions, I can get she can't do. But you're supposed to be a trained ninja of the sand. Y'all supposed to be in lockstep. These were the same ones that were like basically Black Ops troops as kids. And now you can't handle the idea that we have a plan to not only get this man, but get your BFFFF back. And you can't hold on. You know what? It was Star-Lord and Infinity War. You can't box your emotions up for 20 seconds for us to get the win. You need to act out right this second. You idiot. Go back home. Get away from this mission.
See,
all you have to do was wait.
Because they've got, like, now again, what are they showing us in this arc? The irrational side of love. I understand that. But because they've taken it to this ridiculous ass extreme, in my opinion, they gotta punish them. Konohamaru's gotta get devoured. And either Ryu's just gonna devour Yodo just for shits and giggles, or they're gonna fail and he gets the Gaara. Either way, it's a punishment for them. But, like, that's just my opinion. They gotta fail miserably. Koji can have planned it all along. I don't care. You pissed Boruto off. I don't care about that. The fact is, Yodo was so bad and Konohamaru was so bad, they deserve to be punished for it. And if they aren't punished, you're almost betraying, because now you're saying, like, it's like the price of the, like, first of all, you completely remove Jura's point that this side of love is bad if they just get away with everything scot-free, first of all. So now Jura has no point. Secondly, from the viewer's perspective, you're saying, if you have this flaw, it's okay. Nothing bad will happen. So you're not, no, you can't, no. I don't know what to say. Like, you've done this. You have to do it. So if these interviews, Ikimoto's going to kill everyone or whatever, okay, well, let's do it. Let's cash in on your interview bullshit and kill Konohamaru. You know, like that could be Kakashi's fated return. He's just going to take Konohamaru's place.
You know what? I agree that, to me, it's the thing that I have for my D&D groups that I normally run. I say it's very simple. Your actions have consequences. If you say, oh, I'm going to run and jump off a cliff, you better have a reason that you can jump off that cliff and live, because I'm not going to make one up on the spot. Otherwise, you're just going to go splat. They put themselves in these bad positions, and logically, there needs to be some type of penalty for that we, as the audience, we don't know what that is. Now, if you want to MacGuffin them up out of this some way, then you lose some of our trust. So it's okay. So when you raise the stakes, you'll write a way for them to be able to get out of it and not be penalized for it. At that point, your stakes no longer bother me, because you already kind of did a questionable thing with Jura not going after Himawari.
Yeah,
but
no, they did that last arc. Inujin surviving and Jura not going after Himawari and Jura not killing Boruto. All three of those did that.
Well, see, I don't mind the Inujin thing, because that's just showcasing Himawari and her power, whatever. If that, sometimes you need a way to show off the power, image, and getting hit and getting back. That's fine.
And that's
kill
fine.
him
But doing all
I'm cool with killing him at a later date.
3 chapters, 2 chapters.
And plus, Jura is not the type, like, nobody's going to care that Inujin lived. Like, he wasn't a real threat or a problem for them. It's whatever. If he lived, whatever. Now, not going after Himawari, that's already one red flag. Not killing Boruto in that moment is 2 red flags. Now, at some point, you're going to need to explain why Jura's logic said that this wasn't the moment to do it. Now, they could have done that, as we said.
They've already done it. That's the problem. They did it, and it makes no sense.
That's true, which means now that's a corner that the writers put themselves in, and one that they will need to figure out and answer for later, which, as a writer, sometimes you do. They don't have to be perfect. But since you put up that big problem of a wall you created, you better make it something that Jura's explaining later. And it better
I
not
hope
be
so.
something that they're all doing, because
I don't
then
think so.
you're making the Senju just weird as hell about the thing they obsess about, which also doesn't make sense. So now you need to make sure to put that out there. Now for these Senju, I need them, Ryu and Matsuri, to do what they're supposed to do. Be the threats that you are.
Yeah. At that point, I don't even
By the
remember what I
way-
was gonna say. Yeah.
I don't remember what you were going to say either, but I do want to point this out. We still haven't finished reading
I
the
know.
messages,
I
which are
know.
the segue to the topic of this chapter. I wasn't kidding when I said we'll probably take forever to get to it.
Before we do that, though, Kamui, I will say your mic has been like glitchy for the past like 20 minutes. If you know how to fix that.
I don't know how to fix it. I'm standing right in front of my computer, so I'll tell you.
It sounds like you're standing in front of a fan. You know, like when you talk into the fan and it does that weird like wavy
There's
daisy
no
thing.
fan.
I would say it sounded good on my end.
Okay, maybe just me going crazy.
Just randomly said it.
In fact, Kamui, let's prove our point. So, Ace, when you were reading like 2 chapters ago, when Ryu pulled his soul thorn out of his body and started using it as bait to fish for Boruto, did the thought process, did your brain synapses ever cross the idea of rotting at that moment at all during the scene?
Oh,
Did you
which
think
thing?
Ryu was in danger of rotting?
Oh, no, not at all.
Exactly.
Because he literally pulled it out of his body. Now, what I did think, I was like, now this, for one, would be an excellent moment to be able to make a coordinated attack. But 2, I realized that if he's pulling it out, that means that these kids, the kids in this situation, I don't expect to make a good choice because they're emotionally charged, or they have one of them. So while I didn't like it, I could expect one of them not to be able to compartmentalize and be able to handle the emotion of that situation of thinking that that close to their goal, even though they stupidly hear him say, I'll use this as bait, which means I'm comfortable. It's like when I put something in my hand, I say, yeah, just grab it from my hand. I know how quick and fast my hand-eye coordination is compared to most other people, that I'm confident that whatever you should try, I'm going to be better. If he's putting it out there that far where it's floating in the air, he's confident that it's still in no danger, whether that's him going to it or him coming to him or vice versa, something in between. He feels confident with it there.
Now,
So that's not the time to attack immediately when he pulls it out.
to be
actually, 2 things real quick.
fair, well, mine will be really quick. If you want to do my thing.
What? Okay. Well, I don't know what you're gonna say. So the first will be the goofy one.
Okay, go for it.
If Mitsuki just activated Sage Mode and blitzed it, I think Rogue could have just gone away with it. Second, this is the more important one. To be fair, it might have just been an Iron Sand fake Thorn Soul, which would mean that the rotting thing was never even a concern anyway, because it's not even the real thing. The problem is, though, nobody's bringing it up, so we don't.
Yeah, they could do it
expect-
later.
I don't expect a Thorn Soul to ever rot or to ever be in danger of rotting.
I don't
or
expect
for
them
it
to bring
even
it up
be brought
again.
Like,
Yeah.
I expect it to never come back. Just like the Byakugo seal that's never come back. And that actually would have been relevant.
It's a beautiful false
Is that-
gun, Kamui.
Like, yeah, exactly. Is this rotting a false gun too? So, like, if the Byakugo seal can't get the light of day, you think a rotting thorn seal as well?
You know what? I can say that is painfully accurate, sadly.
I feel bad because Ace, you're totally the type of guy to like look at things on the positive side and like look up to Boruto and want to talk about it good. We've just been only bashing.
Oh no, I was going to say these are what I would call fair critiques, because Boruto has done what other shows, like how we said about My Hero earlier, where and it actually earned the trust by showing and proving and saying, "Hey, we told you about this, and then we paid you off with this." That has not been the case so far, really, with Boruto, not in a way that feels satisfying. And so, when you bring up major questions,
So moving on to the next topic. So I was thinking,
real quick,
yeah.
Well, actually, okay, so we don't have to stay on this for too long, especially since now that Kido's here, so we can start to segue. But I did want to ask you, because so we're going back a little ways. You mentioned like Boruto not
so there being build up and set up that just didn't pay off in the way that you trust, like with My Hero, you said as the counterexample. I did want to ask, because I don't think we might have asked you, like, I don't know, 10 years ago, but did you feel that the payoff for Boruto's prophecy matched the setup in terms of what you were expecting / hoping? Like, did it meet your expectations? Or is that an example of something that was set up and didn't hit the payoff you wanted? The prophecy / end of part 1.
How did I feel about that? I would say not so much. It didn't bother me about it. I took that as a part 2 of a trilogy. So I didn't expect for it to have that immediate payoff. I expect that payoff to come off further down the line when things resolve better.
Okay.
And I can look at it in its totality versus the immediate short term.
That's fair.
So you think the prophecy is not complete yet, in a sense?
Yeah, I would say that it's one of those kind of, it's more the totality where I think it is. It's the difference of like a mini arc versus a full like chapter or story arc. I don't think that enough of it's been put together where I can be like, yeah, that's exactly what it was supposed to be like, and now I understand it. I feel like there's more pieces to the puzzle that the further things go, the better I'll understand that in time.
So whereas that's fair, and that's a generous way of looking at it, in a way, Kamui, this is hilarious, that's even worse than saying he could have, anything worse than he could have said about being disappointed in it. Because in a way, that's implying that it almost isn't the case of the way it currently is, or that it can't be that way. That there has to probably be something more because it's written so unclearly. Like, to be fair, it is written clearly.
But that's why we're all hoping that's the case.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, Ace, that's not like anything against you. That's saying, hypothetically, in the future, if it comes to be that there is nothing more, and that the end of part 1 just was that way when you were expecting there to be something more based on the way that it was written, or that you don't know if there's something more, and that just was the end of it, and that there never is anything more, even though the story's continuing, that's even worse than if you thought there was nothing more and you were disappointed in that, in my opinion.
I can see that. For me, it was more that I never thought of it that way. I just assumed that was the way it was going to be. It could be, but I was never going into it with the idea that was going to be, that we were going to get the full payoff of that immediately. It never occurred to me as an option. It's kind of like if you get to season 2 of a show and things that they've set up haven't been resolved yet. I don't expect this, knowing if it goes so many chapters and we're not even through a third of it. I don't expect the next season to be like the final season. Now, it could for whatever reason, but it would subvert my expectations because I expected it to go further and to have more just based on the information of what I assumed of the writing. But that could be more my assumption than anything versus actually taking things at face value.
Well, Ace, I have a point that you're going to love and hate. So you mentioned like the second season versus final season. Well, keep in mind, Chapter 80 is the last chapter of the Boruto Naruto Next Generations manga. Like, that manga has ended. We're now in a new manga called Boruto TBV, a completely new manga. New manga, different manga. So, in Boruto Naruto Next Generations, that is the end of the prophecy, the end of that manga. That manga has concluded.
I'll even clarify.
Prophecy that just never existed in Two Blue Vortex. So far in Two Blue Vortex, the prophecy isn't a concept. It's only in Naruto Next Generations, which has ended that manga.
I'll even clarify though. It isn't.
Here's
even,
where I'd have to. I
I
couldn't agree with that at all.
Well, maybe you will in this way. To add on to what Kamui's saying, it isn't a season finale. That was the series finale. Not a series finale. It was the series finale. It's the end of the series. The series is over.
I would put it this way. I view Boruto, Next Generations, and Two Blue Vortex in the same way that I look at Naruto and Shippuden. They are both parts of the same story. Individual, you could tell each story, but it's not telling the totality of the story. So if I were to take just Boruto and not what also happens in Two Blue Vortex, that would be like taking Naruto and saying that's the full Naruto story, which would be disingenuous because that is a beginning of a story that continues forward.
So this does apply to the anime. So that's gonna be your counter argument to this. But to be fair, in the Naruto manga, there is no Naruto Shippuden. It's just one manga, Naruto.
Not only
Part one,
that,
part two.
but the way
Exactly.
the part 1 of Naruto's anime ended just was resolute. As opposed to
I would
Boruto.
disagree with that. That was not resolute to me at all.
What was left open for you?
The ending of the fight didn't feel like the finality of the story. It felt like them moving on to the next chapter. Kind of a coming of age story where we're not kids anymore. We're now moving into being adults.
So, okay.
Because the fight was a serious fight.
Okay, so Ace, do you remember Sasuke's final line of dialogue in the fight? And I'm not referencing Chidori. I'm referencing the line he says before Chidori. In fact,
Off the top of my head, we'd have to look it up, but I don't remember it.
okay, Kamui, do you know what
I'll
chapter
tell
this
you the
is?
answer.
I feel like it's better if
probably
Ace
chapter-
reads this out loud.
Okay, I'd probably chapter 235.
Okay, do
Start
you know
there.
where this is in pin messages, Kamui? How high up this would be?
Just search Naruto colored manga, bro. It's gonna be like the first link.
Okay. Okay, here we go. So, what chapter did you say?
Alright, 235.
235? Yeah, that sounds right. Okay, so mission failed. Yeah, we'll start here. It's probably 234 based on the title, but
Yeah, I
Yeah.
figured it's gonna be within 234 to 236.
let's go 233. The worst what?
Oh, the worst ending. That's the name of the chapter.
The worst ending.
Yeah. Okay, so...
No, they should have saved that for chapter 80 of Boruto.
Oh, by the way, Ace, where are they fighting? What valley is it?
You mean the final valley that's been the final valley since before they were born?
It's still the last valley, the final valley. Stop the
Which-
first valley.
Yeah, in
Why
fact,
is it called?
Sasuke's
let's clarify
describing the
this.
final
Why
valley
is it
here.
called the final valley? Because it's not because of Naruto and Boruto.
We're at the border, they call it
because
the final valley.
It's because, well,
Do
one
you
valley
know?
at the end, the other name, but two, it's because it's probably because Sasuke says
Taking a screenshot
the
of
quote
this.
that Oodie's trying to find. That's probably why it's called.
Yeah,
Because I don't think anyone else actually calls it that.
let me put
Oh,
this
the
in
Valley
really
of the End, and
quickly.
this the perfect stage for their battle.
Well, you need to read the particular quote.
Okay. Yeah, so first of
Let me
all, so
read out the
Sasuke
quote.
says why it's called the Final Valley. Like, do you know we're at the border? They call the Final Valley
Mm-hmm.
a perfect setting, wouldn't you say, Naruto? Oh yeah, I said we're done chatting, didn't I? Okay, so well, it's about time we wrap up this little duel, and then we get this panel. So Ace, I'll let you take over from here on out.
Mm-hmm. All right. And all the battles to date now.
Yeah, so that's
It's their last battle. Well, at least Sasuke thinks it will be.
the anime makes it a little bit clear.
Mhm.
If you remember exactly what he says in the anime, Kamui, what is it? It's like,
I think he says like this is like the battle to end all battles or the last battle or whatever. I think he says it
Yeah.
more like the last battle.
exactly. It's like the battle and all the battles up to this point. Everything has led to this, Naruto.
That's why y'all taking it that way. They
Yeah.
fought multiple times. He just sees this as the last battle because he plans to kill Naruto and doesn't.
Yeah,
Well, it's because it
but
is
if this
everything
was
up
the
to this
series
point.
finale, it would be the last battle.
If it was the series finale, but it didn't end with one, the protagonist winning, which doesn't happen in Shonen. And two, it was more that, as we always saw,
Well, look at Attack on
Sasuke was
Titan.
leaving because he wanted to be stronger. Naruto was trying to stop him.
No,
Is it-
it does happen in Shonen. In Death Note, Light did not win.
True, but I
Spoilers.
wouldn't
And
call
he is the
I wouldn't-
protagonist.
I wouldn't call Light a protagonist.
He's
Plus-
a protagonist. He's just not a good guy.
We don't need to
Right, I was
see a
gonna say-
character accomplish specific things like this. We don't need to see Sasuke kill Itachi. It would be very satisfying, of course, but technically, what do we need? Itachi said to get the Mangekyo Sharingan and then face me. If Sasuke struggles against the conflict of getting the Mangekyo Sharingan, that's all we need, because by the end of the story, we know he'll be okay. So for Naruto's ending, this would have worked.
Again, to me, that doesn't feel like the ending. It just feels like the climax of them fighting because they've been at odds with each other through all of Naruto,
Okay, so let me ask
which
you,
they've shown.
why are you making a distinction between Naruto and Shippuden and Naruto Next Generations and Two Blue Vortex, but you seemingly haven't between Shippuden and Naruto Next Generations? It's a continuation of the story.
You mean Naruto and Naruto Next Generations before Shippuden?
So, no. I mean, from the end
Naruto-
of Naruto Shippuden
between-
to Boruto.
Boruto.
Yeah, so from Naruto
Yeah,
to
see, they
Boruto.
parallel each other. I see that as the beginning of the best way I can say it is I describe it like Loki's season 1 and 2. This is the first half of the story. This is the second half of the story that completes the full arc of these characters. And then after that starts another arc, which for Boruto started Boruto's arc. That's why it's not technically Naruto's story. It's Boruto's.
Wow.
Naruto is just a character in Boruto's story to me.
I mean, at some point, I feel like I do need to just say the obvious, just so it's said real quick. But like, so just obviously, Ace, we agree. Like, Two Blue Vortex is just part 2 of the Boruto story. We're just making fun of the fact that the producers of this series thought it would be a splendid idea to separate it into 2 distinct manga. So they're just literally different entries on the manga page. Like they're not connected in any way. They don't even end the story with part 1 complete. They just say the end. Like they don't even say the end. It just ends.
At least Shippuden feels like a new
And we're
beginning.
taking it to the extreme and arguing that they are 2 separate series because they technically are, even though they're not.
Yeah,
I
Shippuden
was going to
feels like
say
a
they're
beginning. Two Blue
portrayed that
Vortex
way,
doesn't.
very much so.
Two Blue Vortex just feels
Yeah,
like a
I
time
would
skip
say-
that didn't need to happen in the first place.
I could see it that way. I would say it to me, it follows the same formula that they already had for Naruto. So to me, that's why in my head, I just saw it as a part 1 and part 2, with the time skip being in there, which for power scaling purposes, you would kind of need for them to be able to be in a similar realm. Because watching children fight and die is, while it's become common enough in most shonen, for Naruto, it's more alluded to than shown as a regular thing. Like we don't see the bloodiness of the Third Great Ninja War of the kids and children that were murdered during that time. It's spoken about, but it's not shown like, oh, Minato murdered 20 children out of the 50 stone ninja that were also sent. It's like, some of them were out there somewhere doing stuff. So I always saw that the first part was going to be the setup, the introduction and the setup for what would then be the resolution in the second half of Boruto. But that was just the way I always, when I found out there was Boruto, I assumed it was going to be a part 1 and a part 2 in my head. So I always viewed it that way.
Yeah,
Just like I
especially that
viewed
flash forward
Naruto.
scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even before I even saw it, just from hearing Boruto, I figured there would be a part 1 and part 2 because it worked for Naruto and
Okay. Interesting. Well, is Kido still here?
Wow. Yeah, so I feel like we should probably segue to Boruto.
Okay,
So
perfect.
that Kidomaki being here means he can actually be a guest.
And before he leaves, because we're not including that as well.
Yes.
Okay, so
But with that
Kido.
in mind, Kido, if you're listening, please don't confirm. You know, this is a great time to talk about the hypothetical spoilers that we don't want confirmation on.
Okay, before that, one more thing. Just to get Kido on in an earlier conversation, and even if he isn't here, then we can just talk about this because I had other things saying this anyways. So, in reference to how long we think this arc is going to be, Kido, I'm curious on what you're going to say, because I do agree, I think 10 arcs, or 10 arcs, I do think 10 chapters would be the standard, would be the standard length for an Ikimoto arc. It would fit for this arc. It looks like it's going to be that length. I completely agree. In fact, I just do agree. It seems like that's probably going to be the case. But I do think this could be the first confrontation. But, Kido Maki, I'm curious what you think. Do you think we already hit the midpoint? Do you think there's going to be like 5 chapters? Kido, I love the fact that you weren't listening to a single word we said the past 30 minutes, but you just somehow knew the second we said the word Kido Maki. It's like, how? You clearly didn't listen to
No, the thing is... No, I'm listening, but I'm not really listening.
Yeah.
If you get what I mean. I'm hearing, but I'm not
really
processing everything. Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
Wow.
I would completely agree.
At this point, Oodie, how long have you been streaming for? 3 hours, probably? 4 hours, actually?
Probably.
So, 4 hours into the stream.
Well, okay, wait. But so before, hold on, guys. Hold your horses. So there was a reason that I wanted to bring this up, just because I wanted to talk on that previous topic as well. So, regardless of when you think the arc started, how long do you think this arc will be in general, or like how many more chapters until you think this arc is over? And then I do had one more thing after that comment, so before you jump the gun there.
Okay, yeah, no, I forgot about the art question.
So how long do you think this arc?
I think that's I think we have maybe 2 chapters left.
Oh, okay.
Okay, in that case, is that including chapter 20, or are you saying 22?
Let's say, I would say 22, because this one ends when she activates the Mangekyo.
We didn't hear it. You didn't say it. Didn't say it.
Okay. Real quick.
So a distinction to be made.
Wait,
let's just make
you didn't know?
Let's jump to this disclaimer right now.
Disclaimer.
So don't confirm anything that happens in this chapter for us. So luckily, I did not hear what you said, even though I know what you said.
Wait. Just to be clear,
no spoilers.
Don't confirm.
No. Just to be clear, what I just said was just my assumption.
Okay.
Because you'd assume that's where it ends.
Okay.
You'd assume that's where it ends.
Don't even confirm what you assume is in the chapter.
We don't want to know.
We will be discussing a hypothetical.
We haven't seen it yet. We haven't even gotten pages yet, just to be clear. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But we're going to discuss later something that might be in this chapter. And I want you to discuss it from the hypothetical that it might be true without ever addressing if it is true.
I mean...
I
wouldn't even know, but...
Pretend you haven't read the text spoilers, essentially.
I haven't read them.
Oh, you haven't even read...
Okay. Haven't seen whatever Twitter posts you definitely have seen, because your thumbnail confirmed something I have.
I'm pretty sure it's the same.
No, I saw the summary, but I haven't read the text leaks. The full stuff that they post. Okay, all right.
Pretend you don't know anything would be inevitably great. That's going to ruin our day.
I love how we have the exact same reaction to that, God.
But since you saw my thumbnail, that means I didn't really spoil anything just now. You already knew.
Well, like I said, I didn't hear what you said, but I know exactly what you said.
Okay.
So anyway,
God, I'm gonna have to rewatch that part on stream just to see how absurd it was afterwards.
And let's not even get into Mitsuki. So this is the other character that I was referencing that maybe you were referring to. So he's kind of like the B.
That was the one I didn't know.
In terms of this nonsense. Well, so I've heard that maybe Mitsuki low-key just kind of, I don't know if he bodies Ryu, but it seems like it's going pretty ham. And if that's the case, like, first of all, why wasn't he doing any of this sooner?
He just hates Yodo for blowing the mission.
Yeah, and second of all, I'm even more asking, why hasn't he been doing this in general? Because if he's now hypothetically he goes harder and now he's having his Sage mode pain problems from the anime. Okay, I would like a visual difference, like in the anime when he doesn't have the horny marks versus when he does. But ignoring that, okay, at least I've got that. But if he's just fine and dandy, I'm like, bro, what were you doing in the Boro fight? How did you not catch up to Boruto in chapter 80 when he was freaking 2 seconds ahead of you when you got this god tier spit amp behind your back? Like, so many questions.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair
But I
to
will take a
Mitsuki,
Mitsuki W where I can take a Mitsuki W.
I can imagine Mitsuki being surprised even if he was expecting Yodo to do something irrational, considering her bloodlust and everything around
Well, I
that.
don't just mean
was
that.
aware.
I just mean, so why did Araya lose his sword? Because Mitsuki and Sarda were overwhelmed by clock grind. So if Mitsuki's just got another amp, just fucking use it and kill the clock grind, and Araya doesn't lose his sword.
That's going to be Sage Mode V2.
Exactly. He's already in Sage Mode V2. He's got the marks and horn.
Yeah,
Like,
true.
He's already
V3.
in the form. Yeah, so V3, what's he gonna get? Another horn?
Kido, what do you think?
Yeah. So on the hypothetical that these are all true, what do you think?
About what exactly?
I'm afraid you're gonna say that.
No, I'm hearing you, but about what? Which topic specifically? Mitsuki or Sarada?
Whichever order. Pick the one you think is worse first.
Worst?
Yeah. Whichever one would make you the most mad.
Well, here, let me rephrase it in a way you might enjoy better. Which one do you hate the most?
I don't know, to be honest.
Which one is making you want to drop this?
So is this like which one of the characters are more underwhelming? Mitsuki or Sarada?
No, it's more like, which are you more annoyed about? Sarda reawakening her Mangekyo versus Ryu of all people? Or Mitsuki just being 800 billion times stronger than he has been, just because he didn't feel like it. He just felt like putting everyone in danger.
I have another way of wording this to make him understand. So, not if, but when we make a Sarada and separately a Mitsuki makes no sense video, which one do you think will get more views?
I mean, no one cares about Mitsuki, so probably the Sarada one.
It's gonna be Sarada because
Okay.
I'll give you the title right now. Sarada's Mangekyo makes no sense.
We probably already have that, but if not, then yeah.
We're gonna do it again.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I'm not really. When it comes to Sarada awakening the Mangekyo here, it's not really that big a deal in my opinion. I would have much rather she did it versus Hidori. And there is something else that I'm waiting for confirmation when it comes to the official translation, because someone did. Okay, I probably shouldn't say this. So yeah, never mind. So yeah, that aside, I will say,
It was in
Mitsuki.
a spoiler text so I can read it after tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, let me put it this way.
You just mentioned a spoiler about Mitsuki, so
If I were to make the analogy,
that's funny.
in fact, this is probably the most direct analogy I could make in the most literal sense. This would be the equivalent of Sasuke awakening his Mangekyo fighting Gaara in the Chunin exams. This is retroactively looking backwards into Naruto.
Yeah, because I said this before. Like Sarada has no connection to Ryu. She has
See, the
like
problem
there's
is
nothing
Sasuke
there.
awakening it versus Gaara just is better than this.
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
thing is, that's funnily enough, like, yeah, there is actually something there between Gaara and Sasuke. So the thing is though, do you want a small spoiler? A small one?
I think I'm more
Alright,
receptive to it.
let's put it this
My
way.
only
Let's
problem is
let's
I
say
already
in-
know it's all true.
Let's say in the event that Yodo was involved in Sarda's awakening process, okay?
Oh my god, bro. Yodo. Okay. Yeah, okay. I hope Yodo's dead. At least I got that part taken care of. Ryu kills Yodo.
It's not that direct. It's not exactly as I said it. It's a bit
Oh
It's
my
hard
god,
to just
is she gonna
explain.
say, "Oh, think about your love for Boruto"?
Oh my goodness. So, all right, the point
Okay.
is that it's not really Ryu that's driving the Mangekyo. It's someone else. But they involved it in the Ryu fight, which is interesting, right? So it's not exactly like, yeah, oh, there's no connection to Ryu. Why is she awakening for Ryu? She didn't awaken it for Ryu. It's just being done in the Ryu
Or
fight.
you know.
It was because of someone else. So it's a bit different there.
So
But
in
even
that
then, I
case,
still think it would.
so the equivalent
He-
is it's not that Gaara is the reason that Sasuke awakens the Mangekyo. It's Shino.
Yeah.
It's even
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily because
Debatably.
when- yeah, but I mean, it's a bit better. But at the same time, I think it would have been way better to just do it versus Hidori. But I guess in that sense. But I feel like Mitsuki is way more disappointing because Mitsuki is like, I don't know. Mitsuki has just been underwhelming the entire TBV, And
Well,
I just want to
as a
say,
whole.
but I don't want to really comment on it until I see the fight because people are claiming that he does stuff. So I want to see what he does and how he does it before I go off on Mitsuki. But we'll see. But I think Mitsuki has been way more disappointing. Yeah.
So I will say no. So I guess with this idea of Yodo in mind, this could influence things. But I do want to make a distinction real quick between some of the Mangekyo people, like when they first use their Mangekyo, separate from when they awaken it, versus Sarada. So obviously Sarada awakens it for like in the end of part 1, but she doesn't use it for the first time until here. So Kakashi awakens it when Rin dies.
And there's
Deidara, and then Sasuke awakens it when he learns the truth about Itachi. Then he uses it versus B. So some of the differences with some of these people, when it comes to like Sasuke and Itachi, they use it immediately. Like Sasuke learns about Itachi, wakens the Mangekyo. The first fight he's in, he's using it. Itachi gets it when Shisui dies. The next day, he's using it and spamming Tsukiyomi everywhere and so on. Kakashi, on the other hand, he did it. So he first uses it versus Deidara. That's not when he reawakened it or learned he had it. No, he did it off screen over the time skip. He's just telling Naruto, by the way, I learned this jutsu, and this is the first time we're seeing it. See, he's freaking been doing it on trees or whatever. This would be the equivalent if Sarada started the time skip. She just was using her Mangekyo because she says, oh, I figured it out with the time skip. That's what Kakashi did. What she's doing, though, is reawakening it separately.
No,
in this new
funnily enough,
don't tell me.
Oh god.
Tell me.
This is what I'm waiting for the entire. There was something else that was released. I'm waiting to see exactly.
Take my headphones off again.
Because there's something crazy.
Okay, just tell it. Just tell me, Oodie.
We'll see. We'll see. You want to pause? Because it's not really that big a deal. Why you guys really care about spoilers of Boruto? That's crazy. But yeah,
well, it's more than I wanted to do the bit. The problem is, I don't know what's more disappointing: softly leading into the chapter and being disappointed, or just all of it hitting at once.
That's the thing, though. I don't want. I'm not really disappointed as yet because these guys, when they leak stuff, it's always some nonsense. You just have to wait till the official.
I'm hoping it's Damon versus Jura again.
Yeah. Yo, that was so funny.
Just as false as that was.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
Okay.
But in this one, she let's just say they imply that she knew but decided not to use it because she was saving it for Boruto.
Oh no, not for Boruto.
And she's not using it.
She didn't use it against the Hidari fight when Boruto specifically needed allies and Konohamaru had to be the one to defend him, not Sarada.
And she didn't use it when Hidari had her wrapped up.
Defeated. No, well, Sarada isn't Boruto, right? If it was Boruto wrapped up, then yeah.
Oh my god.
So she can apply Kamui to other people.
Yeah, it's only to
and
help
if she's
Boruto, bro. That's the
devoured,
thing.
then she can't
It's
help
only to help
Boruto.
That's why but the thing is, that's why I said I want to wait until the official come, because I'm not sure if the chapter implies that she knew or if it was more so subconscious. Okay, like it's a subconscious thing where she's just, she awakened it to protect Boruto, so subconsciously she's like,
It'd be nice if
she
she
kind of
said that.
suppressed it, and then in an event where she needs to protect him again, then it would, come up, because Yoda in the chapter is telling her that she's holding back a power and she needs to release it.
Is she going to use it to protect
Oh my
Yodo?
God.
You know what? I'm not gonna say it. That's actually a big spoiler, so no, I'm not gonna say it.
Okay, thank you for not saying it. But I will say, if the answer is yes, you know how ridiculous that is. Is
Well,
it Yodo or
technically,
no?
I would say it would make sense if it does happen, because I didn't check the full spoiler. If it does, I mean, she's trying to be the Okage. She shouldn't be saving power for one person. Logically speaking, okay, you're saving this power to protect one person. So even in the event that you have people around you dying, you're just not gonna use it, and you want to be the Okage. Crazy.
Well, the Hokage protects everyone in the village, not other villages.
No, well, Mitsuki is all. Oh, well, that's a spoiler.
Oh god. So Mitsuki's just gonna get bodied. Great. Okay, never mind. It's the inverse of what I.
But no,
Well,
never mind,
okay,
go
that's
ahead.
all. That's all. We don't want to know. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Or maybe it's somewhere in between. Maybe it's something else. Who knows?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Oodie, what do we do? Are we gonna live react to the chapter tomorrow, or are we gonna read it on our own first?
Live react.
We gotta decide now.
We might need a live react. I don't know. Sounds like we'll both be here at least. We'll definitely both be reading it, that's for sure.
Okay.
Well, at this point, we've already live reacted to it. So I will say,
reacted to the hypothetical chapter.
Yeah. I will say, Kamui, you did forget one awakening and then use later. You forgot Obito awaken it underneath the boulder and then use it against the Mist Ninja.
The one that didn't happen.
He phased through the boulder. I don't care what you said.
He didn't.
So, Kamui, I do have a compromise for you. Obito just verifiably does use his intangibility without his Mangekyo activated. Thoughts on that?
Anime only.
That's not, it's in the manga.
What manga scene are you referring to?
Any scene where he does it.
Doesn't answer the question. Because all the scenes where you don't see the Mangekyo, you just don't see his eye. So you can't say the Mangekyo isn't activated then. You have
Sage
to
of
have a
Thick
scene
Calves
where
made a
you
video on
blatantly-
it.
Then tell me the scene or link me the video.
I mean, I don't need to link you the video. You just go find it, but I can link you the video.
Well, I don't know what video, but so I remember we talked about it with Jonathan Oliver, and someone pointed out that it was anime only.
Well, he had a manga scan, but there, I just linked it to you.
Okay.
I don't remember where it is. Probably somewhere towards the end. Oh, cool. He has it even time-stamped. It might be easier to find that way. Well, looks like these timestamps are entirely useless, but... I think he did like the auto Discord, not Discord, but the auto, whatever. Is there like a way to, how do I turn the thing on the side to like find the things that he says? No, I have to look for it.
Are you trying to look for it? The transcript?
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that. Maybe settings. I don't.
I have no idea.
Kido, do you know?
I mean, what I would definitely say, there are certain parts that I would definitely disagree with Sage on in this video.
Actually, I remember you had some podcast topics I think were related to this because you asked, I think you wrote, like, how did Conan even know that he could only last for 5 minutes, for example?
Yeah, Sage has his own answer for that, but I probably might disagree.
I remember you wrote the podcast topics, so.
Yeah, for me, that's not something that matters at all, but wrote it down anyways if I did. Anyways, I have no idea where it is, but he says it's somewhere in the video.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways. So what were we?
Alright, so new topic.
So
Do you want to just go into Boruto topics at this point?
so are we just not gonna read the rest of this?
Well, I mean, we can still do that.
Yeah, I mean, people don't like this current arc. What did they have? Could get something new. I'm pretty sure what we know is the same thing.
Does the murmur thingy we might both be afraid of play a role in this? Or do you think that would be hype?
You probably know more than me, but yeah, I can't imagine it not being the same thing, to be honest, based on what I heard.
I think there's only two possibilities here, which, to be fair, follow a similar concern situation.
Depends how much that is actually a part of the next chapter. I don't know what your schedule is, but we technically could do a chapter 20 stream tonight or tomorrow night if you wanted, XD.
Well, I think it could be high for some people, no matter how few pages it is. But I also don't want to pretend I love it when I don't. So it would just be me hating on the high thing, which could just be bad anyway. LOL.
I always assume no on weekends, but you seem like you want to do something. LOL.
Either day.
Screw it, I'm gonna viewer. And so, Space, if you were wondering why this was scheduled 24 hours in advance, well, that's why. We probably don't need the rest of this, but oh yeah.
Of these four, who is the least hater? Actually, how many of those polls have you done yet? Like, can we look at some of those?
Sure. By the way, just on this, just because I can't find it doesn't mean it's not here, and you being so confident is probably an argument of ignorance or something else. I don't know.
Sorry about that.
So Space is our most dedicated fan at 50%. It used to be way higher. I don't know who brought it down, but... Oh, it was Orochimaru PR was way lower than this. The thing was 20 and he was at 60.
I wonder what Dara Shikage would have got.
Yeah. These four, who's the least hater?
Who's the least hater? I should explain, okay?
Which is ironic because I still love this as an option. The fact Silva got so few votes really says something about Silva.
I don't think they know who he is.
I love the fact Camden still got 9%.
Mello got second place.
That's funny. When I first saw this, he was at 0%, and it had like a decent amount of votes on it. So he really jumped up there at the end there. Even Cam was like, "Why is Sour on here?" Oh no, what did she do? She sent this poll to Sour, and what did Sour say? Like, it's been 2 years. Something he said.
It doesn't make it not iconic. Who is our biggest hater? Jonathan Oliver.
Let's go. Everyone else pretty much evened out for the most part. Bomball a little bit higher, but yeah.
Why isn't Weeb on here?
What's that?
Why isn't Weeb on there?
Weeb? Who?
Dynamic Weeb.
Dynamic Weeb? Oh, well, he is on here. He's right here.
That's crazy.
I was really hoping he was going to message me back based around this poll and just like, I see what you did. You really think this is funny? I'd be like, yeah.
Yes.
We can talk about it on the podcast if you want.
I still wanted Mello to say something. I'm just curious, like, would he know it's an obvious joke, or would he like, actually think he hates us?
Yeah, never know. I think Silva commented on this. I had to say it was a joke. It was one of these, anyways. I don't remember which one.
Well, actually, he has.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's why he's on the least hater.
Iconic is this one. Which one was it then? Probably this one. First one. Makes sense. Yeah, okay. Never thought I'd be on a poll. It's like, don't worry, it's a joke. Okay. Oh, congrats, I said actually. That's far better than anything I could have thought of. That's hilarious. Oh my god. Okay.
I'm surprised he didn't comment on the Mellow one. Okay, you know you should do just to trigger Patrick Torres. Who have we destroyed in a debate? Artist.
I'm down.
Definitely put Mellow on one of the entries.
Okay, 26. I'm doing this live.
Should it be in a debate the hardest, or the hardest in a debate?
I think it's better this way. It just feels more impactful.
Okay.
So who all do we include on here?
I
We'll
know.
include
So,
Mello, maybe
do
Troy.
we dare put Jonathan Oliver? Because that might just like, like make it too obvious. But Troy's a good pick. Should we put 6? We didn't even debate him.
You know what? Screw it. I'm down.
The noodles.
You know what? I'm down.
I was gonna say Mr. Spiraling.
I was thinking that too. Should we do Mr. Spiraling?
Okay.
I kind of want to see Mr. Spiraling's response.
6 for Mr. Spiraling.
Okay.
Because we didn't even debate 6. So it's like, but we have had him on. We want him to be friends. But noodles would be funny. Like, just to instigate.
I would love to see Noodles' response. Someone screenshot this poll to Noodles or something.
Never even talked.
26, I think it was. Do it. Yeah, okay. And there we go. That's ridiculous. I just realized now there's literally no point in not doing a picture poll because it only does 4 pictures instead of 5 poll results, but now it's down to 4 poll results. So why would they change that? Oh my god. And if they were going to change it, why change it to where the most one is now tied with the minimum one instead of bringing all the minimum ones up?
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
Cut it down.
God.
Also, 1.1K video.
I know. It got up to 1.1 so quick. It was just at 1K the other day. And I've been unlisting videos as we go on.
There's only 900 subscribers.
We're getting there pretty quickly.
You know, we get a shout out from your channel.
Where's Daigo when we need him? Someone commented on it too. They're like, you're so close to 1K. It's like, OMG, 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 you're almost 1K.
We are, but we're also a year away. I blame Two Blue Vortex.
If only it was good.
I mean, we would have 1K.
Oh my god. Okay, well, back to Kido. So, Sauron and Kido.
So
Oh, Sauron's back.
I came here earlier, but like
Your mic
I
wasn't
thought
working.
my mic was broken, so I was like flipping out.
I could
I
tell
was
because
like
you're like
having a
muting and
total rage.
unmuting.
I was having like a total rage moment. I
I
busted a hole
know.
through
I
my
could
wall.
tell. Even though I
broke
couldn't
my
hear
door. And then it
Oh.
turns out there's a mute button on my computer
Hmm.
that I didn't know existed.
Is there a
So,
unmute button on fixing your door?
no, the door's just busted. It's gonna be like that. Just gotta pay for it now.
Oh,
So I just wanted to come here and say,
yeah.
why do you always gotta be such a hater, Kamui? You haven't
Wait,
even
why?
Hey.
I'm in the
Hey,
clear
hey,
on this
hey,
one,
hey.
Cowboy. Suck it. I'm the biggest fan
We
here.
were all hating together on this.
You were the one who was
Let's
crapping
go.
on the Sara to MS thing with Kidomaki. I was just here. I heard it. Have you
No.
read the chat? Have you read the spoilers? Have you read the chat?
I don't know. Look.
Have you
It doesn't
have you
matter
seen
what's
it?
in the spoilers. The moment I see her Mangekyo, and it's not versus Kido, it's already ruined.
Now. Okay. I think that it being versus Hidari was lame and predictable. What do you think about that one?
At least
So-
it would make sense.
What do you
So-
think about that one?
So Sauron.
That is the most boring, conventional, predictable thing that you could possibly do in the story, and they did the opposite of that. That's
Well,
good.
you know
writing.
what, Saran? You know what I would have done? I wouldn't have even had her awaken it in part one at all in the nonsense, bullshit, boring way I hated in the first place. And instead, she wouldn't even have it yet. She would awaken it like 3 arcs from now in an actually impactful scene, and it would actually use it in an impactful scene. It would be
Hey. We're not talking about part 1 here, okay? We're talking about part 2. We don't bring up the past. We
Okay,
look forward
but-
to the future.
Ryu and
In the
Yodo,
present.
the sand ninja she's never talked to in this manga. That's when you want her to have her Mangekyo moment. You want Sasuke to awaken
See,
his
this is what I
Mangekyo,
mean by
talking to
you-
Suigetsu instead of about Itachi
This is
nonsense.
what I mean by you haven't read the chapter. That's not how it happens.
I don't care how it happens.
Like, calm down. Let it play
It's gonna
out.
be. I'm expecting the worst.
If you want my true thoughts without the troll, from what I read, I think it's fine. I do actually think it's fine. No troll. It's nowhere near as like dramatic or as like impactful because I did think the Hidari thing was a joke. I did think it was going to be saved for Hidari. But I think for what this was, from what the scene is described, like we'll see when the chapter actually comes out. I think it's actually just fine. I don't think it's bad per se. But
Well, Saran, I think you've already walked into a problem. It's
Yeah.
just fine. The most pivotal power up she can get, centerfold, big moment thing that's important to Sarah's character. Yeah, it's just fine.
You know, Kamui, dramatic and impactful are two things I don't
Yes.
want in my Mangekyo scenes.
Oh,
But like, Kamui, can I just love whenever we use the phrase "use this way" right here?
oh, Kidomaki, good work on the videos, man. If you're here. Okay, never mind.
He probably is here. He's just probably not answering. At least the previous.
He's one of the. I don't watch as much Boruto content anymore, but I still be watching his videos. so-
Ooh. Do you still watch us?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, he joins the stage at least.
I get a large dose of y'all every other week. Okay,
That's
I
fair.
get a large dose. You can only have so much Ood and Kamui.
Oh my god.
Wait. He types at Ood why you have to be such a hater, but he comes on stage and asks me.
Yeah.
He can't even get his story straight.
well. My, well, I
Yeah, you're speechless.
Sauron, you're almost
No.
as inconsistent as Matsuri's Rinnegan.
hey, that's unfair. Okay. Okay. Just because I
Why is
can't
it
form
unfair?
words doesn't mean I don't have words.
I demand a fun fair. What does SpongeBob say?
So I targeted Kamui because that made more sense. Saying Ood was the hater was the dumb thing to say because he wasn't actually saying anything, you know?
Yes, he
Kamui
was.
So,
Just weren't listening.
enough. You were the one saying things, and Ood was definitely muted and silent. So I changed my mind. Yeah, yeah.
I may have said more things potentially. I wasn't keeping track of time.
Not
But Oodie
potential, you
definitely
did.
said things
You did.
equally
You did.
in agreement with me.
Nah, I supported it. I actually want her to use it fighting alongside Yodo.
That's not what you said.
It's the most
So I will say-
thematically appropriate to fight alongside Yodo with the
I
Mangekyo.
kind of do have a bit of a bias because, like, how it awakens is a way that I'm like, oh, that just pushes things further in my direction. But, you know, it's fine.
Well, Kamui, in Ikimoto's defense, this is the most irrational awakening Sarada could do.
You know what? Thematically, it works. The more irrational something is, the better it belongs in the story.
That's right.
Okay, so when you do read, just try and, like, put yourself in the shoes and be like, maybe this isn't bad. Just be like, maybe let's try and understand this, you know?
Well,
Give it a
we're gonna do
chance.
that
Give it a
anyways.
shot.
Well,
We're gonna
that's
do
Give it a
the
shot.
problem, Ron. The more we understand it,
Ah!
the more we hate it.
Okay. No.
But the only way to like it
Mm.
is to not understand it. If you understand it, you know why it's bad.
I feel like y'all are uncharitable sometimes, you know?
Oh, bro,
Who
we
are
are
you,
Jura's
Mello?
biggest fans. And he doesn't even deserve it.
Like, y'all, you said that Sarada's not Mangekyo Awakening. And
Yeah,
part
we
one was
definitely said that.
nonsensical.
Sarada's
And I'm
not
like-
Mangekyo Awakening. That was our point for sure.
I'm still mixed on her awakening from part one. I'm still mixed on it.
I mean, I like
Oh,
it because
don't
Naruto
it.
died.
No, I'll stand by it. I just don't like. You can delete chapter 80 from my heart.
Like, we've talked about it before, but like, I don't think it's actually that unreasonable.
Fell
But I'm
to her
still mixed
knees,
on me.
sobbing the moment she heard Naruto died.
I'm mixed on the I'm mixed on the execution in terms of like just like even how the illustrations I thought were just so you know,
A lot
they were
better
just
than
so
Matsure's running on.
non-impactful.
Yeah, they're not making me teary-eyed.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how the anime does that scene. I feel like a few directional changes can make that scene actually
Well,
solid, I
if it's
think.
anything like what they did previously, it'll be rushed, is how they'll do it.
I'm about to slap you.
Well, if it's
Well,
not
come
rushed,
on.
it'll at least
You
be
can
low
argue
budget.
that they're spending so much time working on the anime now, but seeing as they still haven't
would-
even started those 4 Naruto episodes,
I
have
would
they
never-
really started Naruto?
I would never make that argument because Boruto, if it started anything, it's in pre-production.
Is the Naruto episodes even in pre-production?
Yes, they're definitely near done. They restarted at one point. Like literally, the moment they announced in 2023 September that the episodes were getting delayed, they completely restarted from
Crazy to
scratch.
think that was a year and a half ago, meaning it was announced like 2 years ago, and we still not.
September, October, November.
Doesn't
December,
take that
January.
long.
That was a year and a half ago. Yeah.
Yeah, the 20th anniversary that happens on the 22nd anniversary.
Yeah, see, Sauron, this is just a classic example of what Kamui just said. The more we know, the more we hate it.
I had a thought, and the thought
You know,
left my brain.
Boruto's biggest fan, Jonathan Oliver, is oblivious to all of this. There's a connection.
Hey, I'm still excited. I got a bias because, like, if I get I haven't seen the staff members I like in a long time, so I'm excited. Okay?
Sauron, you dropped the manga. You are not reading Boruto 2 Blue Vortex.
I'm talking about the Naruto episodes.
Okay.
Just to be clear.
You can't have a bias for something that doesn't
we're excited
exist.
about it.
Now, the bias towards True Blue Vortex. I don't really got much of a bias for that. So, you know.
Sorry. You're talking about us being haters. We're actively excited to read every chapter. You dropped the manga. You're the bigger hater.
You're not excited.
Wait till March
Don't lie.
19th and then tell us what you think.
You're lying. You're not excited.
Well, I'm excited and scared.
It's like having a baby if you're the mother pregnant. It's like anticipation.
I feel like I give birth every month, and I just don't. I love my child, but I'm very disappointed in that.
See, I was thinking more so worried about the child pain, birthing process, but I like that idea as well.
Yeah, every chapter, it's like I'm giving birth. I'm just in labor.
But, wait, what? Wait, what? I had a brain. I
mean, I have topics if you want some,
I
Sauron.
lost my brain. No, I had something I wanted to ask y'all, and I just...
Okay.
It's just,
Same idea.
I guess what I was gonna ask, which section do you... You're both mixed on both of the sections, as far as I'm aware, but which section do you like more? What's happening with Konohamaru and Matsuri, or Sarada and Yodo and
That's
Jiraiya?
interesting.
Which section do you like more? If you... I know you're mixed, but, you know...
Yeah.
Which,
Granted,
I guess
don't
which
know
section do you
any
prefer?
I don't know any Konohamaru spoilers that might have happened with this chapter that could influence this, but as of right now, I'm gonna pick Konohamaru and Matsuri because at least it is more so directly tying into like what the story's doing with this arc. It's mainly what Jorah's talking about, his nonsense. It's directly juxtaposed with Matsuri Konohamaru. It directly involves what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
The Ryu stuff is mostly just action. That's not to say there's nothing else, like Yodo's Shinki, blah, blah, blah. But, like, it's mostly just action. It's a cool fight. So it's kind of
surprised that
two
the fight
different
hasn't
things.
ended
But,
yet.
like, the fight doesn't have any substance narratively, so far, at least, really. Like, really? It doesn't matter, like, to the story.
I'm not
so surprised I'm gonna have to pick
it hasn't ended because it's been several short sequences. If you want to count the fight as starting before Araya's sword, then that was a sequence. Then Araya brought out a sword. That was another sequence. He's lost a sword. So now we hypothetically might be going into a third sequence where they're fighting him without anything, and then a fourth sequence, or this might be the third, is whatever solution they come up with to counter Ryu. Might be Mitsuki Sage Mode, might be the Lorentz gun, which they're never going to bring back. Now I'm disappointed. It might be Sarada's Mangekyo, which is leaning more towards in that direction now. Might be whatever Yodo does, etc., etc.
By ending, I mean, like...
I think they're going to have a fifth sequence after
I'm
that.
surprised that they're breaking up the fight this much. Usually the manga didn't do stuff like this in this way.
What do you mean? Like, you mean cutting to different scenes? Because that's what I was saying earlier. A B story, C, D, E.
Yeah, and
I agree.
Usually fights wouldn't last because like majority of the fights in this series, even when they're broken up, they're like
3 chapters at max.
They're like 3 chapters, but that's the max, and that's Team 7 versus Boro.
Yep.
Most of the time they're 2 chapters.
Yeah.
So even when they're being broken up, because you have Ishiki and Sasuke, that's 2 chapters long, and it's being broken up by Amato and the gang. You have Naruto and Sasuke versus Shiken, that's 2 chapters long, and even that has some broken up sections. So,
see, now I will praise Ikimoto on something that he's doing right where Naruto did it wrong. At least at some parts of the story, is that all the things we're cutting away to, even if they have like wasted time in them, each of the times they cut away, it's usually showing something progressive or new, even again, even if it has some things wasted in it, as opposed to in Naruto, like during the sorcery fights, the most notorious example, where you're cutting to Naruto and Kakashi chasing after Deidara.
That is anime only. In the manga, they're not doing that, or at least if they do it like once, not 30 times.
And I'm not going to pretend like every single time they do that, it's the exact same thing. There are different sequences within them cutting back to that. For example, Deidara trying to trick Kakashi by doing the cool clay bomb thing he does to separate him from Naruto. And Kakashi is like duck and weave under like the logs, and he's almost blown up from a cool Deidara trick. Like they're doing a bunch of stuff there, but for the most part, it's the same.
All right. So what I wanted to ask you,
or Team Guy versus Team Guy.
Okay.
Not even gonna go.
Be the Zard.
So Ood answered my question about how what do you think he's gonna do next? You, Kamui, your turn. What do you think? How do you think he could possibly break out, and what do you think he's gonna do next? How's he gonna try and leverage himself to try and like fix the situation to break out?
Is this something that's in the chapter, or are you just asking because it's not in this chapter?
I will not answer that question.
Thank you.
Good.
I don't even know why Kamui asked
I feel like it's going to change the answer, because I don't think he's going to get bailed out in this chapter. I mean, it's possible, but like if Boruto was going to rush to someone, I feel like he would rush to Sarada first. So I don't think
absolutely.
So I don't think he's gonna bail Konohamaru out. But if it was a future chapter, that could happen.
Yeah,
that's why I'm asking. So if it's in this chapter, he's either gonna say some nonsense that somehow gets him out, or he's gonna do some bullshit new jutsu that just somehow breaks him out, or he's just.
What do you think that new? Okay. So if you say like some bullcrap new jutsu, like what do you think that could possibly be? Like you mean like a new jutsu, or just a new jutsu he's never shown?
A new jutsu he's never shown. So it's at the Rasen barricade. It's gonna be the Rasen windmill, and it's just gonna chop off her things. And that's gonna be the coolest thing ever. I'll admit.
That's
and I'm gonna be like, why aren't you spamming this jutsu more often? Because that is this jutsu.
Okay, if you give Konohamaru that, I'm more okay with him dying. That's cool.
I am more okay with it because I just on the spot came up with the coolest way for him to break out.
I love it.
I just came up with that jutsu, and it is the coolest way for him to break out. No, so at this point, when it's inevitably not that jutsu, I'm gonna be upset.
Okay, so you said something along the line, saying something nonsense. If you had to figure out something that he could say, like what would you? How did he do it?
That's a good question. I have to think. Wait, something that would be nonsensical or good?
Nonsensical that could maybe get to her.
Well, the obvious one that I'm not saying he would be the most realistic is just for him to be like, okay, you can call me Konohamaru, John, if it just works. That would be like the easiest one.
No, that's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
Something else would be really stupid. Because he says, you can't call me Konohamaru, John, but you can call me Konohamaru Kun or some new nickname. Or even dumber, you can't call me Konohamaru, John, but I really like your smile.
Oh, that would be hilarious. Okay, so
or better yet, she's like, you can't call me Konohamaru, John. That's what my best friend calls me. But I've always wanted my lover to call me Konohamaru Kun or something.
Stop.
And so she's like, oh, you love me.
It's not gonna happen that way. Realistically, if he's gonna break out by speaking to her, which I would like, then I want him to not double down, but continue on the same like angry path that Matsuri's on in a way to make her realize something about herself, such as what she was saying last chapter. Well, I don't know why I'm feeling this, but if I devour you, then maybe I'll just stop feeling it, something like that. And then Konohamaru next chapter could say something like, well, I don't know why I'm feeling this way either. And then maybe Matsuri would be like, oh, wait, you feel a certain type of way? Oh, and then she's gonna let him go and want to talk about that. Just as an example.
I like that. That could work.
Or what if he was like, I'm telling you, if you devour me, you'll never stop feeling this way.
Oh, that would be interesting, almost as a threat at that point.
Hold on. That'd probably be good too.
Loki, I like that.
So
Because when she believes him, she's going,
so-
I don't think he'd say that though. but, like,
the way that he would have to do it is to simply stress the fact that if he's devoured, she would be alone, right? But she'd never be able to experience something like this again.
Well, that's what she's saying he was. So I was thinking, I mean,
Yeah,
that
but do
could
you
work as an
really
argument,
want
but what I was
that?
thinking is she'll have absorbed him, so she'll always feel this way.
Well, what I would really like is because she was bad mouthing Moegi last chapter. I forget exactly what she called her, like a hag or a sleaze or something. It was baddie. She called her baddie as well. I would like if Konohamaru breaks out while defending Moegi and like some mental lamp, whatever jutsu he wants to use. Freaking kunai his way out. I don't care. And then they can go into talking about Moegi.
Windmill at that point. Let's just make it canon.
I mean, I'm fine with that. I'm just saying, like, if he uses his words, I'd like him to be defending Moegi as well. And then instead of fighting necessarily, they could fight while talking as well. But I would like them to talk about Moegi, what Moegi means to both of them.
Let me see what she calls Moegi. She called her.
Okay.
It's before the baddie line, I think.
Here's the question. So
actually, she doesn't call Moegi. She says, I think she says this
feeling
is driving me baddie. Yeah, I think she says it's driving me baddie.
So
might have been.
She has really heightened emotions right now. So any little thing that he can say that's gonna
wench. She calls her
wench. Yeah.
She has really heightened emotions right now. So like anything that he could say that just kind of sort of tips her off just a little bit, like makes her question or think that like, do I truly want to do this in this moment? I did actually really like bonding with you before you said what you said. Anything that can make her feel that way, that could just steer her off for a moment, that could be a way that he could leverage himself.
I think he needs to push forward and be as extreme as possible. If he backs down now, it's not going to work. He needs to keep going basically until he gets to the eye of the storm. Overwhelm her by being even more intense than she is.
Mm-hmm. So we did talk about how his hands are free. So would it be a combination of the two? Would he backstab her?
Oh.
I mean, I will say that would be quite the crazy Konohamaru plot twist to where he backstabbed her in this situation. Like, this is the distraction he uses. The only thing is, though,
like if he can get her for one tiny little moment and he uses this way to break out, because again, his hands are free. His hands are still free. We talked about this last chapter. His hands are still free. He should be able to wield jutsu. He's just too a little focused on this conversation to do so yet. So it's just like, would he do that? Because he literally he seemed really hesitant to do it before.
I mean, this case is kind of self-defense. I mean, I hate to use this jutsu, but like, technically, he could just use fire style, burning ash, or dragon flame, whatever jutsu, and just kind of burn some of that
burning ash because he hasn't used it in the entire series so far, and yet he's listed to have it. I think so.
Well, he used it in the tuning exams.
He either uses it in the anime as a kid or as an adult, but
he uses it as a kid against Tamari and Naruto.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it is.
But he does have access to it. He just doesn't use it because he's not allowed to use any jutsu.
Say with Moegi.
That's unironically part of why I think he'll use the Rasa barrier. Because they just use the same jutsu over and over in Ikimoto.
You know what? Okay, honestly, I think the coolest thing they could do at this point, besides the Rasen windmill, is the reveal. This was a shadow clone the whole time, kind of like the Kawaki Ishiki thing. And so he is going to backstab her off guard somehow. Like,
he appears from behind her?
Exactly. Like, this was a shadow clone. Because she hasn't, heard it yet. She's just kind of grabbed it so that wouldn't poof it. That
he
might be
like
the coolest thing.
dug himself underground and like does the weird Kakashi thing where you, the
Or the Naruto
the
uppercut.
Naruto characters can just like dig underground.
1,000 years of death.
And he
Yeah,
like
bro,
shoves like
that's
a
the
wind
love
style
story
Rasengan on her
right there.
face.
That would
This is the 1,000 years of
really
death
confuse
on
Matsuri. She would have no idea what to think after that.
Bro, I'm still waiting for a fire style Rasengan. Like the
Oh,
Rasengan that I
well.
the Rasengan that I came up with was a fire style. Oh, dang it! I gotta look it up again. What did I
Saran, do
say?
I have the
Wait, hold
jutsu
on.
for
Saran,
you?
are you saying there isn't a fire style Rasengan right now?
There's a
Oh, how wrong you
there's a
are.
magma Rasengan fire style.
No, there is a fire style Rasengan.
Here, Saran, I'll give you early access on this one. There is a whole 10-minute clip for you on it. So there you go. Not to watch right now, of course, but
Oh, okay. In retrospect, now that I'm looking at this name, it's not as cool as I remembered it. But
well, to be fair, the Vermilion Rasengan isn't what we're referencing. I just used that as the thumbnail.
no, it's the thing that I typed down as the Rasengan that I would like him to have.
Oh.
So it's called Fire Style Rasang Destroyer Flame.
You just copied Madara's fire style.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I did. I'm pretty sure when I came up with that name, I was literally just thinking of Majestic Destroyer Flame. But I
feel
couldn't
like
fit
Rasen
Majestic
Flame Bomb
Destroyer
sounds
Flame.
a little bit more normal of a jutsu, but like
Rasang Flame Bomb, yeah, that's better.
The thing is, Scorch Style is
Rasang
already
Dragon
better
Flame
than
Bomb?
whatever the Fire Style Rasengan would inevitably be.
What the heck is Scorch? He can't use Scorch Style.
I
So,
mean,
what's the point of saying that?
you're talking about the Fire Style Rasengan in general.
Yeah, like he does like a wind style Rasengan in one and then a fire style Rasengan in another.
I mean, Naruto did that in the Galel movie. I'm down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Okay.
actually, that could be a cool idea. Like he just combines his fire style and wind style Rasengans to make a fake Scorch style Rasengan type thing. That could be pretty cool.
Well, here, Naruto actually does do a. I'm not going to call it a Fire Style Rasengan, but this is just in the Galel movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's clearly
What
not
is
Fire
it?
Style. It's the QB Chakra.
A Ninetales Rasengan?
Yeah, but it's cool.
This is Moboshiki's Rasengan.
Wait, did y'all read the sneak peek this week?
No,
No.
Oh, why didn't you do so?
we don't do that.
Oh, I thought
You know,
do.
I honestly, I usually only see the first sneak peek of anything. I don't usually see the second sneak peek at that point. It's like the day before or whatever.
Y'all know who's on the chapter cover?
No,
No, I have no idea.
don't think we want to.
But yeah, I'm looking at the
Okay.
manga here.
Probably wouldn't be bad.
Jiraiya's hand thing is just like manga only. I think it's actually supposed to be
Anime
the
only.
barrier.
Red Sage one looks so awesome.
I do think having the toad features is a cool thing for Toad Stage
I
mode.
think it
like,
is really cool. I really like
honestly, low key, it makes more
I like
sense.
it looking more animalistic.
Yeah, like it kind of should be that way.
I like it because it
Like-
makes Jiraiya look uglier.
Like okay. I like, as much as I like the whole monkey sage mode thing, I really do like that idea. I don't know why why monkeys wouldn't be able to have sage mode, but like if Hiruzen didn't have it, I mean obviously it shouldn't exist because like Hiruzen would have had it. But like I do really like the idea. So I like the idea of, I kind of like the visual of like a slightly monkified Konohamaru with a tail. I think that's cool, and he starts fighting with the tail and whatnot. But you know, kind of an animalistic form, kind of like Jiraiya. But it probably shouldn't exist because like why didn't Hiruzen have it? But I want it to exist. It
I mean,
just
you
doesn't
could
make sense.
argue Hiruzen had it in his prime, but he just couldn't do it as an old man.
I
It's
would
really hard
never
Not that I
argue
want
that.
any more prime Hiruzen bullshit, but like, you
Never
could
would
do
I argue that.
Because I think it would just be cool. I do, but like, because I don't want Konohamaru to have Toad Sage Mode. I don't want that. Maybe he can have whatever Hashirama had, but that seems to give you no new abilities other than a strength increase. So it's like, yeah, whatever.
I mean, I would like the series to address one or the other. Either only
Like,
three
what the
stage
hell
modes.
is it
There's the
anyways?
snake, slug, and toad, or everything can be a sage, like any
Every
animal or
single
thing.
animal should be able to be a sage.
It
I
should
don't
be the
know why
case.
it would
Yeah.
only be toads, snails, and because also we don't even know if that is a snail. Like whatever his
Slug.
sage mode is, we don't even know if it is a slug. So
Oh, you're talking about Hashirama? Yeah.
Hashirama, exactly. We don't know what it
Yeah.
is. It's
He
just
might
sage mode,
have human sage mode or
which
tree sage
seems
mode.
which seems to imply that other animals have sage mode as well. I don't know why it would only be frogs and snakes. That doesn't
Well, I
make
agree.
any
That doesn't make
sense.
any sense unless the only explanation that could make sense, as goofy as this, would be the permeability of the skin of toads and snakes and presumably slugs in this case allows them to absorb nature energy because Naruto has to use the oil at first. That's like how he learns. Blah
Lizards
blah blah.
exist in Naruto, don't they?
Huh?
Do lizards exist in Naruto? Maybe Konohamaru could have a lizard.
I don't know if they do or not, but if they do, I mean, yeah, that would fit the idea there. But that's assuming that that's even supposed to be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's chameleons.
Oh yeah, there's the chameleon. There's the chameleon stage mode.
That would look so ugly. What I'm envisioning right now, it looks disgusting.
I mean, there's a messenger lizard. I don't remember what this is though.
Bro, that's a tadpole.
It's got a tail. Well, yeah, it's a tadpole.
This is
I don't know,
Jay's messenger litter. Click like you see the manga side by side one. Or that works too. Yeah,
I
who is
really
this?
like the monkified visual.
Whose lizard is this?
Assuming it ever
Like he-
Who is Jay?
Like he becomes like super agile, starts fighting with his tail and his staff in conjunction with one another. I don't know. I like that visual.
Kumo
Cool to me.
Gakure.
Oh, Gakure. Okay.
He starts like.
To be fair, it does
walking
look a
on
lot
his
more
hands.
lizardy in the manga. It's just anime art style, I think.
That looks like
Manga
a
chapter
frog.
417. You'll go find a Kamui.
Why does that
It's
look
that
like
guy.
a frog? Sasuke just doing animal cruelty for no reason.
Did not need to kill that.
It was so unnecessary.
You know, he's just like Danzo, actually. And Sasuke never realized he
It's
and
one of the
Danzo
most
are
evil
the
things
same.
he's ever done.
Yeah, they're killing toad-like things.
Oh, y'all gonna complain about Kishimoto art? Y'all want to do that right now?
Well, I'll definitely tell you
Me?
what's not in the anime.
Guys, take a look at that panel. There you go. We can make fun of this.
Alright.
But that log smoking?
Look at the Mitsuki panel. Let's take a look at that one.
This one
Yeah,
Oh,
look at his face.
does look pretty crazy. You know what? It low-key looks like a very weird young version of Sasori.
It looks off model, that's for sure. Even Orochimaru looks kind of weird.
Scroll down, Oodie.
Wait, hold on.
Well, I think that is
Hold
just Orochimaru's design, right?
Yeah, that's his new design in general.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know.
Look at Log.
Log looks really cool. He almost looks like Genos
What's
in
wrong
One
with
Punch
Log?
Man.
Why are his eyes like that though?
What do you mean in particular?
They
Why
look
is
snaky.
one significantly higher than the other?
Where?
You can't see his other eye. What panel are you looking at?
Oh, the panel beneath you.
Oh, The one where it looks
yeah.
like he's got like lazy eye or whatever.
Oh, you know what though? This actually does high key look like some Samurai 8 art. What he was working on at
Maybe
the
that
time.
artist actually drew this chapter in secret, and Kishimoto who pretended he drew it.
Would it be his first time? Yeah, but no, that is high key, absolutely Samurai 8. Like, unironically, if you showed me this and asked me what this is, without telling me anything at all, I would probably say Samurai 8. Just like this whole thing. It's pretty crazy. Okay. Wow. Which we should, by the way, probably read that at some point. So, Shin needed to use his teeth to create the Shin clones. Did Orochimaru use anything?
Well, definitely something.
Wow. Did he heal? Did he snakeify replace it? Did he body transfer jutsu in his from a previous body?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Orochimaru did something to where it didn't matter. Like, he shaved off his cells and then just regenerated them or whatever.
Yeah. It would have been low-key
He was then
really
able to do
cool
stuff
if
like that.
Mitsuki was from the Zetsu body he took.
I agree.
Yeah. That's our headcanon until they inevitably correct us.
They will never explain anything about Mitsuki's origin.
I don't think it could be, though, because isn't body transfer every 3 years max? It's 2,
Well,
actually.
the problem is, it's every. The only reason it's happening is that the body's breaking down, but it's like, in theory, he thinks Kimimaro is the body that will never break down. So if the Zetsu body is better than 3 years, then maybe it lasted. But we
Oh
know
my
he used the
God.
jutsu again in Naruto Gaiden because he makes it obvious. So yeah.
You already know I disagree with that, though, so...
Okay, you got to at least agree Kimimaro is the perfect body that'll never break down.
You know what? Fine, I'll give you Kimimaro, but not Sasuke.
Great.
Yeah, that's fine with me. I agree. I think Sasuke breakdown. Kimimaro just
Okay, perfect. I'm down. He's
I
on
wasn't
the...
looking at the time. All right, I gotta go, guys.
Yeah, we should probably do that too, Kamui. We should have done that long ago, honestly.
All right. Peace,
Whereas, yes, we've only just segued to Kimimaro.
Segue to what? What haven't we covered?
Probably infinite rewrites.
I'm good with segueing to the outro instead. Segue.
So boring. I mean, I completely agree, though.
Okay, cool. Well, if we do it tomorrow, we'll see you tomorrow. Until then, we failed.